time to relax and have a moment with God. The garden God planted in her heart. Mara had always loved early mornings, but lately even sunrise felt heavy. Life had grown loud, responsibilities piled on like stones, and every day felt like a race she couldn't win. One evening, exhausted, she whispered a quiet prayer. Lord, I just want peace again. Then, she fell asleep. The next morning, something unusual happened. When she stepped onto her porch, the world felt still, gentler somehow. She noticed a small patch of soil near the steps that she had never paid attention to. It looked strangely soft, as if waiting for something to grow. She shrugged and moved on with her day, but the little spot kept returning to her thoughts. That evening, as she passed it again, she felt a nudge. Soft, but clear. She knelt down and brushed the soil with her hand. Beneath the dirt, she found a tiny wooden tag. On it was a single word burned into the grain: rest. Mara froze. She lived alone. No one had placed it there. The next morning, she returned with a cup of tea and sat near the small patch of soil. Birds chattered overhead. A soft breeze brushed her hair. Something inside her loosened, like a knot slowly untying. She whispered, almost shyly, Lord, is this from you? In the quiet, she sensed it, not a voice, but a presence. Warm, patient, safe. For the first time in months, she breathed without tension. The next day, she found a small sprout pushing through the soil. She hadn't planted anything, but this plant was growing anyway. Each morning, the sprout stretched a little taller. Each morning, Mara sat with it. The more she visited it, the more she sensed a strange truth. The little garden wasn't really about the soil outside. It was about the space inside her, one God had been trying to tend long before she noticed. One day, as she sat beside the growing plant, she opened her Bible to Psalms and read, He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. She whispered, I think you're restoring me, Lord, one morning at a time. Over the next few weeks, the plant grew into a bright, blooming flower, soft, white petals, glowing like morning light. Mara wasn't sure what kind it was. She didn't need to. She simply knew it had been planted by grace. As the flower grew, so did the peace in her life. She woke up differently, slowly, gently. She created small rhythms, lighting a candle, playing soft worship music, drinking tea before the day began. Each practice felt like another seed. The louder life became, the more she returned to her quiet garden. Sometimes she simply sat in silence. Sometimes she prayed. Sometimes she just existed and realized that was enough. One afternoon, after a long day of helping others and fighting old worries, Mara sat beside the flower and cried, not from pain, just release. Lord, she whispered, thank you for planting peace where I thought nothing could grow. And then she understood something. Peace wasn't the absence of noise or problems. Peace was the presence of God inside the noise, inside the problems. It was the garden he planted in her heart long before she noticed. The little flower became a symbol, a reminder, a promise. And whenever life grew heavy again, she knew exactly where to go, to the quiet place where God restored her soul, one gentle moment at a time.